In this video, I will be adding a Chocolatey package installation to a Windows image, so that the software packages are installed after Windows installation without any user interaction. I'm starting this video from a GitHub page, and that's because there are a few bits of information here that I will be using for this video, and I will leave the URL in the description down below. And here you can see the main software packages that I will be installing, so Adobe Reader, 7-Zip, Google Chrome, Zoom, Notepad++, and also Firefox. And to achieve this, I will be configuring a run once registry inside of the Windows image to execute a PowerShell script called desktop-provisioning ps1. And this script will be executed after Windows installation, and it will perform all the necessary configurations. First, it will install VMware tools, and this is an optional step. And this step is only necessary for me because I will be demonstrating how this image works in a VMware workstation environment. And I need to install VMware tools to have full screen so we can see what's going on. And after installing VMware tools, it will wait for the internet connection. After the internet connection is detected, it will install Chocolatey. And then using Chocolatey, it will install all the packages that you see here. So Adobe Reader, 7-Zip, Google Chrome, Zoom, Notepad++, and also Firefox. And that's basically it. Now, before making any changes to the Windows image, first I want to show you my starting point. And for that, I will go to my downloads folder because in here I have a clean Windows image, so the install.wim file that has no modifications inside of it. And also I have this provisioning folder that contains the installation files for VMware tools. And this is only necessary if you are planning to use this Windows image that we will be modifying in VMware Workstation. Anyways, so that's it for my downloads folder. Now for my USB drive, I have created a USB drive for Windows installation. This USB drive does not contain a Windows image inside of it because I removed it, and I will be modifying the one that I have in my downloads folder and then placing it in this USB drive. And also I have the Auto.10 file that allows us to install Windows without any user interaction. And if you want to know more about my setup on how to prepare the USB drive or how to get the Windows image, you can check out a video that I have here in the bottom of the page that will explain everything. And here you can see a PowerShell script that I will be using for the image modification. But before showing you how it works, I need to download few files. And the first file that I need is Chocolatey installation file. And for that I will use the link that I have here that will bring me to the Chocolatey GitHub page. Then I will click on the release in here, and here we care only about this file right here, Chocolatey, then version number.msi. I will click on it and that should start a download. And the second file that we need is the PowerShell script desktop-provisioning ps1 that I have here in the GitHub page. I will click on it, and this is the script that will be executed after Windows installation. And the script first will install VMware tools. So this is an optional step, and you would remove it if you don't plan to use the Windows image in VMware Workstation. You would replace it with something else if you're planning to use some other virtualization platform, or you would remove this part entirely if you plan to use it on hardware computers. Next, the script would wait for the internet connection. After the internet connection is detected, it would install Chocolatey from the MSI file that we downloaded, and then it would start Chocolatey package installation. Here you can see all the packages that, in this case, the script will be installing. And that's basically it. Now to download this script, I will click on the button right here, and then I will go back to my downloads folder. Now I will move the desktop provisioning script and Chocolatey installation MSI file to the provisioning folder. And this folder is important because all the files that we have here will be moved to the Windows image. Anyways, now I will go back to the main GitHub page where I have the PowerShell script that I will be using to modify the Windows image. And first I will be executing this script to generate the modified Windows image. Then I will be using the Windows image to install Windows and show you the end result. And after that I will come back to this script and explain how everything works step by step. And to execute this script I will click on the button right here, and then I will open a terminal window with administrative privileges. Then I will insert this snippet in here, click on paste anyway, and now let's wait for the image modifications to complete. And the PowerShell script finished modifying the Windows image. And now if I go to my downloads folder, here we can see a few more folders. The mount folder should be empty now. And here we have this output folder that contains the modified Windows image that we can use inside of our USB drive. And now I will select and copy all the files that we have here and go to my USB drive and insert the files in the sources folder. And now that I have the files inside of my USB drive, I can use that USB drive to install Windows on a computer, or in this case, a virtual machine. So I will go to VMware Workstation, I will connect the USB drive to this virtual machine, and after the USB drive is connected, the last thing that I need to do is to restart this virtual machine. And after the restart, the Windows installation should happen automatically. It should install Windows without any user interactions. And after Windows installed, it should also start Chocolatey package installation, also without any user interactions. So let's wait and see what's going to happen. And as you can see, the Windows installation executed without any user interactions. And after installing Windows, the Chocolatey packages started installing automatically. And we can check if we have everything installed by going to the control panel and then uninstall a program. And here we can see that we have 7-zip installed, Adobe Reader, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Notepad++, and Zoom. So everything that we had in the list here seems to be installed successfully. And that's it for the demonstration. Now, like I said before, I will be explaining how this PowerShell script works. But before I can do that, I need to restore my downloads folder to the original state, to the same state as I had when I started this video. So I need to remove the mount folder, output folder, and also I will be removing the install.wim, because currently this image file is modified. As you can see, the size of this image is larger than when I started this video. So I need to restore my original Windows image. So I will remove all the files and I will come back to you when I have the original install.wim file in here. And I restored my downloads folder, so I have the original install.wim image file, and also in my provisioning folder I have the VMware Tools installation file, the Chocolatey installation MSI file, and the desktop provisioning PowerShell script. And the next thing that I need to do is to open a fresh terminal window. So I will close this one and reopen a second one with administrative privileges. And now I will go back to the GitHub page where the PowerShell script is. And this is the first part of the script, and here you would need to modify this information, because here we are providing few bits of information for our script to work. First, we need to provide the image name. As you can see here, I'm providing Windows 11 Pro. And here we need to provide the image name that we want to modify that is inside of this install.wim file, because this single image file contains multiple Windows images inside of it. So as you can see here, I'm modifying Windows 11 Pro image that is inside of that install.wim file. And then for the image path, we need to provide the location where we have the install.wim file. In my case, it's in my downloads folder, and my downloads folder is in my Q drive. And then we need to provide the location where we want to mount the Windows image for the modifications. Then we need to provide the output location, and in the output location, after modifying the Windows image, it will split it into multiple files, and it will place those multiple files in this output location. And we need to split the original image into multiple files so that we can use that in our USB drive. Otherwise, the files would be too big for the USB drive. And then the last bit of information that we need to provide is our provisioning folder. So it's this folder right here where we have all the files that will be moved to the Windows image. And now I will copy this part and I will insert it to the Windows terminal. So I will insert it here and I will run it. Nothing will happen, but we will have all the variables in our memory. Let's go back in here. So after providing all the variables, the snippet will execute this part, and this will check if the mounting directory exists on our computer, and if it does not exist, it will create on the computer. So if I copy this snippet, go to the terminal and insert it, let's execute it, then let's go to the downloads folder. As you can see, the mounting directory appeared. And this bit is important because without it we cannot execute the second part right here, because for mounting the Windows image the directory already needs to be existing on the hard drive. So the next part is to mount the Windows image. If I copy this snippet, insert it into the command line, execute it, you can see that it started mounting the Windows image inside of this mount folder that the script created itself. So let's wait for it to finish. And it finished mounting the Windows image. So if I go to my downloads folder, now inside of this mount folder, we have the mounted Windows image files that are from the install.wim file. So let's go to the next part. And the next part is to create a provisioning folder inside of the Windows image. And first, let me show you how it looks before executing this part. So I will go to the downloads folder, mount directory, and then we need to provide the location in here. So program data, and here you can see all the default folders. And as you can see, currently we don't have the provisioning folder in here. But if I copy this snippet and place it into my terminal and execute it, you can see that now the provisioning folder appeared. And then the next part in here is for moving files from our provisioning folder that I have in my downloads folder to the Windows image. So basically it will go into this folder and move all the files that we have here to the Windows image in the folder right here. So if I copy this snippet, insert it to the terminal, press enter, come back to it, you can see all the files that I have here are now inside of the Windows image. And one bit of information that I need to mention about this snippet is that I'm modifying the Chocolatey installation file name. So if I go here, you can see that in my downloads folder, inside of this provisioning folder, the Chocolatey installation file has the version number, but after moving it to the Windows image, we only have choco.msi. And this will allow us to not worry about the Chocolatey name when we create and modify other images in the future. And then the next part here is very important, because here we're loading Windows registry file that belongs to the Windows image into our registry so that we can configure run once. And to demonstrate how this snippet works, I will go to my terminal application, open a new tab here. I will type regedit to open the registry editor. And here you can see that currently in my local machine Hive, I only have the default keys. But after executing this snippet, a key that belongs to the Windows image should appear in my registry. So I will copy it, go back to this tab right here, insert this snippet, press enter. As you can see, the operation completed successfully. And if I go back to my registry now, go to view and then refresh, here you can see that a new key appeared called image. And this key belongs to the Windows image, so all the modifications that we make to it will apply for the Windows image. So let's go back to the PowerShell snippet. Then in here we have the configuration for run once. So we're creating a registry entry execute provisioning and then providing the application that we want to run. So in this case, we're executing PowerShell and then PowerShell executing a PowerShell script desktop-provisioning ps1. So the script that we have here in our provisioning folder. And to show you how this works, first I will copy the path from here, go to my registry editor, and I will insert the path in here. So here we can see the run once key that belongs to the Windows image. And here we have the applications that will run after the first administrator sign in. So let's execute the second part, the run once configuration. So I will select it, copy it, go back to the terminal and insert the snippet in here. So after executing that script, we can refresh And here you can see that our registry entry appeared execute provisioning, and then we have and then here we are executing PowerShell, and PowerShell is executing the desktop provisioning script that is responsible for executing the Chocolatey package installation. So that's it for this registry modification. I will close the registry editor. And this is important because without closing it, sometimes we cannot unload the registry that belongs to the Windows image. So I will close it, and then next part right here is, like I said, is to unload the registry file that belongs to the Windows image. So I will copy this snippet, insert it here, press enter. As you can see, the operation completed successfully. And now we have made all the required changes to our Windows image, and the next part is to dismount it. But like with Windows registry, we need to close all files and folders that we have opened inside of the image. In my case, I have this folder opened, so I will close it. Then I will select this part right here, copy it, and insert it to my terminal. Press enter, and now we need to wait for the image to be dismounted. And the Windows image is now dismounted. So if I go back to my downloads folder, now we have this install.wim file. As you can see, the size once again increased, and it has all the changes that we made with the PowerShell script. But because this is a too large file for the USB drive, I also added this snippet right here to split it into multiple files so that we can use it with a USB drive. But if you want to create an ISO or deploy it in some other way, this file is already modified and you can install Windows with all the modifications. But let me show you the last part. So I will copy it and insert it here. Press enter, and now it will split this single file into multiple files so that we can use it with the USB drive. And it seems that it finished executing, and if I go to the output folder, here we can see the multiple files that are made from this single Windows image. And that's basically it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and see you in the next one.